Hello everyone and welcome back to the Vegas Golden Knights franchise mode in NHL 21. So we're going into the back end of the season. We're going to finish off the regular season, go into the Stanley Cup playoffs. We made some big moves at the trade deadline as well. We have a 32-26-4 record. We are 5-5 in our last 10, but I'm looking to improve on that. Our first line still has a +5 with Peyton Krebs, Ivan Chukovic, and Mark Stone. We have Matthew Tkachuk, Cody Glass, and Denis Gurianov at second line. We brought in Ruslan Jost with a trade at the trade deadline. Has 67 points, 37 goals right now, 86 overall at 22 years old. Medium top six potential. Really excited for him. This look at his stats has a 99 speed, 99 hand-eye, 93 power in his shot. Absolutely crazy. He's with Nugent Hopkins and Owen Tippett. Now, at the bottom six, we have Tomas Tatar, Jesper Albline, Alex Ovechkin. Albline is a 79 overall low elite, has 23 points in 63 games. So we do have a -1, and I don't really have a way to get that corrected. I may have to play around the lines a bit and see what I can do here. So I noticed if I put Tkachuk on the third line, we actually get a +1 on the third line. I really like Jazz to have some more playing time, given that he is 86 overall at 22. Stone is actually up to a 90, so he's playing like a 95. I really can't get rid of that -1 in the fourth line, unfortunately. So I think I'm just going to have to leave it as it is. I mean, we have Ovechkin and Tatar, who are really just playing like 81s. Tkachuk on the third line is a bit rough, but I mean, honestly, I could put him on the second line, even though it takes away the +1. I think it's worth it to just have that power in the top six. I want to keep Jazz at the left wing at his natural position, and then we'll finish off the year like that. We have Lindgren, and we brought in Dante Fabro as well, the trade deadline. Pietrangelo went down to an 85 at 36. Only has 1 year left on his contract after this one, so we'll see what we do with him. Plekanec up to an 82. He's a 20-year-old low elite defenseman. We picked him up in the second round of the draft. And we have Thatcher Demko and Jesper Wallstedt in net. In the AHL, we have Yogo Alnefeld in net over there. Take a look quickly at the standings for the AHL. Henderson Silver Knights are actually first in the division, 39-13-2. Logan Stankonev leading the way in points. Here's a quick look at the roster there. We have Formenton, Lesician, and Stankonen. He is a 78 overall medium top six potential forward, 23 years old. We have a lot of depth in the AHL, as you guys can see. I would really like these young defensemen to grow. Top six potentials there. Lucas Cormier, Korjak, Korkonen, Pashal. So looking forward to that. We have a pretty solid team over in the NHL. Special teams actually have Jazz with Stone and Nugent Hopkins, Ovi and Gurianov. They have a +3. Tkachuk, Glass, Krebs, Fabro, Pietrangelo, they have a +1. So we are looking pretty solid here. Like I mentioned, we are 5-5 in our last 10. Hopefully Fabro and Jazz, or Yas, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Hopefully they come up big for us. So I'm just going to go ahead and actually simulate up to the last couple of weeks, up to the Calgary games, see how the team does. We lose against the Kings there, shootout win, a couple of shootout wins in a row. That's 5 wins in a row. Number 6, number 7 in a row. And then the streak ends. But 7 W's in a row was huge. We are 41-32-4. We are battling with the Sharks and the Kings and the Oilers, in fact. And even the Ducks. I mean, 3-point difference between first and fifth. The Pacific is extremely tight. Avalanche 96, 95, and 90 for top 3 teams in the Central. Lightning are way ahead of everybody else with 52 wins in the Atlantic. And then we have the Islanders, pretty close Metro Division. So it's going to be a race to the end. Jazz has 49 goals. Is he going to have 50 against the Flames? He does. Ruslan Jazz, 50 goals off 85 points. What a pickup for the Vegas Golden Knights. Very happy we made that trade. Now, the trade we made for Jazz in the past episode, we traded away Jake Bean and Alex Tuck, both of them in the last years of their contract, as well as a first-round pick, but I think it was worth it to get Jazz. And at the end of the day, we got Dante Fabro to replace Jake Bean as well. All right, we're sitting at first in the division. Let's simulate the game against the Chicago Blackhawks, and it's a 4-3 win. We're 2 points ahead of the Sharks. We only have, I think, 3 games left to go. We're tied with 90 points. I'm going to simulate from this screen so we can see the points there. After a game against the Oilers, we lose in a shootout. Both us and the Sharks have 91 points. We actually have 2 wins more, so that may come in clutch at the end of the year for the standings. Playing against the Stars and the Wild. That's a 4-3 win, and we're 2 points ahead. I think we pretty much have it locked up now. As first in the division, we are indeed Pacific Division champions with 95 points, 45 wins, 100 points there for the Avs, 118 for the Lightning, who won the President's Trophy. Taking a look at the points now of the team, want to see how good Jazz was after we picked him up from the Panthers. 14 goals and 20 points, a point per game. That is amazing to see. He's going to be incredible for us, I know it. Mark Stone, 75 points, 25 goals. Nugent Hopkins is solid year with 74. Gurianov just short of 29 goals there. Krebs 57 points. Ovi, 32 goals at 40 years old. 969 goals, very nice. 1,781 games played. Absolute legend. 40 years old. This may be his last season. We only have him in a 1-year deal. Chuck with 22 goals, 53 points. Petrangelo, 47 points at 10 and a plus 10 there at 36. Cody Glass had a pretty good year. Chekovic, 23 goals there on the first line, 43 points. We're expecting a bit more, but he gave the plus 5, so I'm really happy with that. Dante Fabro, since we picked him up there, 3 goals, 11 assists, 14 points and a plus 6. Very, very good for a defenseman. He's going to be our top pairing defenseman for sure. On the last year of his contract, though. And then we have the rest of the guys here. Taking a look at goaltending here. 37, 26, and 5 for Demko. 91 and a 293. Jesper Wallstedt had pretty solid numbers for a backup. Hopefully he grows. Can either eventually replace Demko or be used as a trade piece. Looking at goaltenders, Isaac Monroe had 42 wins for the Florida Panthers there. All right, going down, let's Gustafsson, Vasilevsky, Shesterkin, Hellebuck, and go on. Denko with 37 wins, so one of the better goaltenders in the league for this year. As for points, and Braden Point leads for the points. 110, 109 for Gino, 105 for Jack Eichel, Huberdeau with 102, McDavid there. So we had a lot of players with over 100 points. That is fantastic to see. Kucherov edges Jazz for the goal scoring title. 54 goals for the Maurice Richard Trophy. Almost want to call this guy Jazz. I know it's Jazz, but it'd be a pretty cool nickname. A lot of players in the 40 goal range as well. Looking at defensemen, 80 points for Jack Hughes, almost a point per game. Dahlin there, 79. Provorov, Eric Carlson, so big years for defensemen. Cale Makar was a plus 46. Have yourself a year. We already seen goaltenders, rookie skaters there. So look, 44 goals for Martin, 62 points. Shane Wright there with only 32 points in his rookie year. Looking at goaltenders now for rookies, see who had the best year. Couple of guys here at the top. So let's take a look now who we're facing in round number 1. It's going to be a wild card team, and it is the Minnesota Wild, who we beat 5-1 in the last game of the season. Let's take a look at the Minnesota Wild line, see who we're playing up against. I think in the next episode, I may want to take a look around the NHL before we start off the next season, because I want to see where all the players went. As you guys can see, Evgeny Malkin, first line center in Minnesota with Philip Forsberg and Brendan Saad. Completely different team than real life. Francis Johnson, 86 overall at 20 years old. He was 4th overall in a couple years ago draft. Ryan Johansson, Brandon Russ, Connor Sheary, Bjorkström. They're playing Marco Rossi on the 4th line. They're definitely a pretty deep team, especially in the middle. Chlowski, Sokolov, Addison Rourke, Hunt, and Lehman. So they're not as good defensively. And then goal, Tuukka Rask and Hunter Jones. So I think we have the edge overall. We're a better team. Definitely better defensively and in goal. But just hopefully we have the luck of the simulation. So going to simulate game by game. It's going to simulate period by period here as well. So going to game number 1 after 1, it is 3-2. So Nugent Hopkins with 2 and Thomas Tatar, who was a acquisition along with the Dante Fabro deal as well. Malkin and Lindblom have goals for them after 2. 6-4. This is a barn burner. Tippett, Krebs, and Albaline, and then Jocelyn and Forsberg for them. I'm just going to simulate the third period here. 29-18 the shots. We're on home ice. The crowd got to encourage the boys to not give up. And there is number 7, Rusin Jazz. Sherry scores it 7-5. Wow, this is not a good game for the goaltenders, Demko and Tukaras. Let's see if we can hold on here. We have 41 shots. And that is going to be a win for game number 1, 7-5. All right, going to game number 2 in Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena. The boys are looking to go into mini with a 2-0 series lead after 1-0 for them. Lehman after 2, 3-1. Schlowski, Jaskis went for us, Forsberg. Let's see if we can pull up with the win at 3-2. So Payne Krebs scored with 18 seconds left, but too late, unfortunately. So we're going to go into game number 3. So we split the 2 games in Vegas. I hope we can at least split the 2 in mini, or even better, win 2. We're here in the state of hockey in Minnesota after 2-0. Alex Ovechkin and Matthew Tkachuk, a couple of our great wingers that we have. Ovi on the fourth line, there you go. Still putting up goals at 4 years old. After 2, 3-3, they tie it. Malkin, Jocelyn, and then Jazz for us. Let's see if we can get out here with the win. We can. Mark Stone, Matthew Tkachuk with his second of the night, and that's a win for Vegas. So a lot of scores in this series from what I can see here. Looks like our AHL team is in the playoffs as well, which is great to see. Going to game number 4, we have a chance to go back to Vegas with a 3-1 series lead after 2-0 for the boys. Dante Fabro, new acquisition, and Owen Tippett after 2, 3-1. So they get one by Jocelyn, and Mark Stone gets one past to Karas. I'm going to simulate the third period times 8 here. Pretty important game. We have a power play, and Payne Krebs scores. It's not a power play goal, but we'll definitely take it. The young guy in the first line puts us up 4-1. That should be enough. 5-1 even. Thomas Tatar gets one. It's a 3-1 series lead for the Knights going to game number 5. I was a bit confused because I looked at the last game of the year that was against the Wild. I'm like, what, is there 8 games in this series? But that was a regular season game. After 2-1 for them. Saad and Johansson. Chekovich there on the first line scores one shorthanded. 4-2 after 2. We get one from Cody Glass. Hopefully we can bounce back in a third. Payne Krebs scores one. He's not ready to go down without a fight. We have a power play. We have a +3 on the first unit. The boys couldn't get it done. Down to 8 minutes to go. Another power play. Come on, boys. And there it is. Denis Guryanov. It's not a power play goal, but we'll take it 4-4. And we are heading into overtime. Just going to go and slow sim it. So I do have it at 20-minute period. I always forget to change that. Maybe if we get into the deeper rounds, I'll go into an OT. And Evgeny Malkin scores for the Minnesota Wild in overtime, extending the series to a game 6. So you still have 2 more chances to close this one out. We're up 3-2 coming into Minnesota after 1-0 for them. Evgeny Malkin once again on the first line. After 2-0, Oscar Lindblom scores for them, and his shots are pretty close. 2-0 game, so we're gonna have to climb a bit of a mountain here in the third period. Hope for a comeback. Come on, boys. 3-0 Sokolov. That's gotta be it. It was gonna lead the whole game. Yep. Malkin with, I think that's like 3 or 4 goals in 2 games. He's been absolutely on fire for Minnesota. All right, here we go. Win or go home. Game number 7. We have home ice here in Las Vegas. Come on, boys. Let's get this done. Period number 1. It is 1-0. Lindblom once again. After 2-4-0 for Minnesota. That's going to be very, very difficult to come back from. 22-20 the shots. I mean, they have an 81 goaltender net. You can see how much ratings don't necessarily matter, where we have an 85 and they're scoring 4 goals. So that's definitely discouraging with the big moves that we made in the trade deadline. And that is going to be it. 4-0 loss against the Minnesota Wild. And the Vegas Golden Knights are eliminated after round number 1. So Oh, that really sucks. I thought we had a very, very good team. Let's take a look now at the player stats. So, Nugent Hawkins, point per game. Krez, 4 goals. Chekovich with 6 points. Jazz was pretty good. Stone as well. Tippett, the Chuck Gurianov. He has some pretty balanced scoring all around. 3-3-1 for Demko. He was bad. 871 save percentage and 351 goals against. So, maybe if Jesper Wallstedt can grow enough, we could potentially replace Demko with him because he's pretty young. But Demko definitely was not good in those playoffs. We had a very good defensive core, and I think that that was a big issue for us. And Chicago Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup. Bridgeport Sound Tigers win the Calder Cup. So there you go. Chicago are again Stanley Cup champions. They had a dynasty in the 2010s, and they're back. So take a look now at the retired players for the league. So Alex Ovechkin retires as a member of the Vegas Golden Knights. 969 goals, all-time record, 1,781 points, one of the greatest of all time. Kopitar right behind him. Phil Kessel with 500 goals right on the dot. What a beauty. Jonathan Toews there, Getzlaf, Pavelski. Erik Karlsson, 1,000 points as a defenseman. That's awesome to see. A lot of big names retired in this season there. Looking at goaltenders, Fleury and Price. Fleury, 600 wins. Fantastic. Price with 543. Varlamov, Grice, Reimer, Bernier. So it's nice to see that Price played his entire career with the Montreal Canadiens. It looks like Fleury retired as a free agent, but of course he was amazing for Vegas, so definitely proud to have had him as part of our franchise. So let's look at the retired players for this year. Taking a look now at the awards, and I'm going to end off the episode there. It looks like Jazz went up to an 88. That is fantastic. Stanley Cup to the Blackhawks. President's Trophy to Tampa there. Prince of Wales to the Red Wings. So it looks like the Red Wings made it to the finals. Art Ross goes to point, as well as the Hart. James Norris to McCarr. Lady Byng to point. Calder to Martin of the Red Wings. Alexander Nylander with a Conn Smythe. Hellebuck with the Vezina with New York. William M. Jennings to Vasilevsky. Share with Robin Leonard, former Vegas Golden Knight. Bill Masterton to Chaika. Wild Coach wins to Jack Adams there. And the Selke goes to O'Reilly once again. And then point with a 10 Lindsay and Maurice Richard to Kucherov. So big year for the Tampa Bay Lightning there. Stone went down to an 87. So Mark Stone has one more year left on his contract, down to an 87. Jazz went up to an 88. And we will have to re-sign him as well. I'm going to take a look at a few other guys. Krez went up to an 87. That is amazing to see. Tkachuk is still an 88. Pietrangelo down to an 82 overall. Well, I mean, Pietrangelo is an assistant captain, but making 8.8 as an 82, we may have to look at trading him during free agency, potentially get another player to replace him. I'm going to have to see there. Chekovich down to an 83. Fabro, 88 overall, so he's going to be our new number one pairing defenseman for sure with Oscar Lindgren, who Lindgren is there in 85, so very happy to see that. Plekanec, 82 overall. We're going to take a look at Demko if he changed ratings at all. 85 overall, Wallstedt up to an 82, so we're going to have to make a decision there. And we're going to be going into the entry draft and the offseason re-sign phase in the next episode. So definitely frustrating that we lost. Hopefully we can make the team better to compete for the finals next year. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like. We really appreciate it. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the content. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, have a great day.